Free Japan Channel number 81. Today, June 14th, 2025, Saturday. The time is 6 p.m. Good evening, everybody. This is Free Japan Channel, broadcast from Yokohama. Today it is cloudy, and sometimes the rain fell down from the sky. I was running in the afternoon, however, my running was interrupted by the sudden shower. Dear friends, how are you doing? Saturday. Today's topic is the insurrection in L.A. This is the topic of today's FGC. As broadcast in the news, the insurrection or the riot happened in Los Angeles, California state, in the United States. This riot started with a demonstration against the deportation of illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants are in the United States illegally. However, there are some Americans who advocate that these illegal immigrants also should be protected by the law or by the Constitution of the United States of America. These stupid people are mostly Democrats. And as you know, California is a state where many of the constituents are Democrats. Governor is Democrat. The mayor of Los Angeles is also Democrat. So Democrats are very so-called kind, so-called friendly to immigrants, even against illegal immigrants. Therefore, the riot happened from the demonstration against the deportation of illegal immigrants. President Donald Trump promised in his electoral campaign that he would expel these illegal immigrants as soon as possible when he become the US president. And now Trump is implementing his promise into practice, and these immigrants, according to the news, more than 400 illegal immigrants are now cracked down by the police, California police, and they would be expelled to their original homeland. United States is a country where immigrants made at first in 17th century from Britain, so mostly white people. And these white people confined indigenous Indians or indigenous Americans into the specific reserves of the land, and only whites took advantage of the vast land and abundant natural resources in the United States afterwards. And then from Italy, from Germany, and of course the descendants of so-called African slaves are also there in the United States. In the 20th century, the immigrants from Asia, from Japan, from China, and these days the immigrants from Mexico or South America are increasing, and these countries, South America, are very notorious for high crime rates and high crime rates. Therefore, many Americans are now plagued by the presence of these illegal immigrants from South America. And according to Trump, these South American countries deliberately send the worst people to the United States in order to break or in order to destroy America itself, according to Trump. I don't know exactly whether this Trump's assertion is true or not. Anyway, America is now faced with these immigrant problems. Historically, America is or has been always the immigrant country. However, in 2025, the immigrants are rampant in the American cities, and many of them are illegal. So the crackdown this time was to find out these illegal immigrants in various places of LA. The Insurrection of L.A. It's Saturday, 14th, and now this riot is calming, hopefully. However, this incident or this happening clearly demonstrates how dangerous it is for the society to accept immigrants haphazardly, so without any plan. Now, Japan is faced with the same issue, the immigrants. Japan is short of labor force, and China, for example, has a large population, and there are so many candidates, so-called candidates, who want to go to Japan to work. The cities or society of Japan is much superior to those of China. So very clean, quiet, and neatly arranged. Therefore, I am very proud of this Japanese atmosphere in the city. However, if Chinese immigrants, for example, come on a large scale, this atmosphere will be destroyed. And once it is destroyed, it never comes again. So the atmosphere of society is very, very important, and we should protect it because tradition, history, culture, or convention altogether compose such atmosphere. I have been several countries when I was young, including United States and Europe. However, compared to these Western countries, Japanese society is much more comfortable and much more convenient and much more healthy, morally speaking. I want to cherish this Japanese society, and foreign immigrants, especially from China, will be so pernicious, so harmful to Japanese society. Therefore, the majority party of Japanese government Liberal Democratic Party and Kome Party are now moving to the acceptance of these Chinese immigrants. This is incredible. This is unbelievable. Unbelievably foolish policy. Therefore, we should by all means stop this immigrant policy of Japanese government. The insurrection of L.A. this time clearly shows us how dangerous it is to accept immigrants to the society. Thank you.